Hello there, and a very warm welcome to another video from Change Tips and Tools. And yes, it's me again, Phil, the Brummie that hails from Birmingham, England. Today we will continue the theme of combining data from multiple sources with the intention of creating a budget versus actuals dashboard. But in today's video, our static data and our budget data is not in Excel. In fact, it is held and managed in SharePoint. Now, an everyday ask for any PMO is, how do we get this data into Excel and link it to those SharePoint lists so any changes on SharePoint where that data is managed are reflected in our Excel dashboard? Well, I'm glad you asked that very question. It's easier than you think. Let me show you. Let's do this. Promise, it's really easy. So here I have my Excel spreadsheet with some formatting already done. If I open the data ribbon here and open queries and connections, you can see I already have created some queries using Power Query. So I've already created the calendar information and I've already created the links to my actuals data within those respective folders. And if you want to see how to do that, then please check out the videos on combining data with Power Query, or the Power Query with data visualization if you want to check out how I've done this formatting. And then finally, you then got the Power Pivot with data visualization, where I'll show you how to create the calendar, etc. Check out those videos. The links are in the description. Now, the difference here is if I close down the queries and connections window, is that I don't have any static data like I did within those particular examples or those scenarios. I don't have any cross-reference data and I don't have any portfolio budget data within this Excel spreadsheet. All of that information is managed on SharePoint. So as a PMO, potentially you would be managing the update of that data in a secure environment such as SharePoint, where there are read-write permissions, so only the PMO, for example, or certain people could update that data in a central place on SharePoint. So in this example, if I've got the cross-reference data here, and also here I've got the budget information, which has got the budget by project, by month, so the allocated budget by month from January through to December for the year 2024, and if I scroll down, I've also got 2025 budgets in here as well. So the question is how do I get this information into Excel so it then feeds and supports my dashboard, but also I want my dashboard to update and refresh based on any changes that are made in SharePoint? Well, it's easy. It's so easy. There's nothing complicated. Let me show you. So if I've got my Excel file here, so make sure you've got it open. So I'm going to bring the cross-reference data in first. So select on the spreadsheet or the destination spreadsheet where you want it to be. So I've got B3 selected. I'm then going to go to SharePoint. And on my cross-reference list here within SharePoint, I'm going to do the drop down on export and select export to Excel. And now I've got this query here. I'm going to click open file. And then I'll get a message to say enable. So Microsoft Excel security notice, I'm going to do enable. And then on my import data dialog box, I'm going to choose existing. So B3 where I've selected on cross-reference data and click OK. And it's now brought that list into Excel and it's linked to that SharePoint list. Now, I don't want these two columns, so I am going to right click on the header and then delete table column, and then right click on this header, which is the path, and delete that column. They won't return. I can refresh this information and they won't return. And again, as you know, I'm OCD about naming my pivot tables and naming my Excel tables. So on the table design, I'm going to give this a meaningful name. I'm going to call it table cross-reference, like so, and hit return. So with this table now created and linked to SharePoint, I'm going to select Power Pivot ribbon and select Add to Data Model. And there you go. So now I've got my table cross-reference information within my Power Pivot data model. As you can see, I've got my actuals data already in there, and I've got my calendar information already in there. Again, if you want to see how I created those, check out the Power Pivot and data visualization video in the description. So now I've done that, I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to go back to my Excel spreadsheet here. And again, it's giving me this warning. I'm just going to ignore it for now. Remember, as you're working within the data model within Power Pivot, it will disable your auto save while you're doing that. So I've now got my cross-reference information in here. I'm then going to go to my budget information, and again I'm going to select where I want that budget table to appear. So I'm going to select B3 again on my portfolio budget allocation. I'm going to go to SharePoint. I'm going to go to my budget table list here, and again on the export, do the drop down, export to Excel, and again I'm going to open that query there that's just created. And again, I should get the enable dialog box. So I'm going to do enable on the security notice. And again, within my import data security dialog box, I'm going to select existing sheet, B3 selected, and click OK. And it's now brought that data in. Again, I'm going to get rid of the columns that I don't want. So I'm going to select item type, right click on it, on the column heading, and do delete table column. And then right click on path header, delete, and delete that column. So again, I'm going to give this a meaningful name. So I'm going to call this table portfolio budgets, like so, and hit return. So now I've got my table. So if you look here on this first row here, I've got program A, project 1, January. I've got 50k in there as a budget allocated. If I go to my SharePoint list here, like so, right, and I go to edit in grid view here on my list on SharePoint, and if you want any SharePoint videos, please let me know in the comments, and I'll prioritise creating some SharePoint videos for you as well. So if I select this, I'm going to make this 40,000. Return. So that's now create 40,000. Again, I'm going to exit my grid view. If I go back to my Excel file, yeah, so here it is. If I do data refresh all, so it's refreshing all the links and it's refreshing my queries. You'll also notice it's refreshed this table. So you can see here now that January's changed from 50,000 to 40,000. So those changes are reflected. So again, with this table now selected, I'm going to select the data ribbon and then do from table and range. So remember, I need to unpivot this so we can use it within our data visualization. So I'm going to select the year to the project, right click on those columns, unpivot other columns, and then I'm going to join the year, and I'm going to merge that to this attribute with the months in that's created. Right click on it with those two selected and do merge column to create a new column. And the separator again is going to be custom, and it will be a hyphen or dash, and I will call this new column date and click OK. So there's my date column. I'm going to select that and I'm going to change it from text to a date. So it now recognizes recognises that column as a date. I'm then going to select the value column, change that to currency. I'm going to double click on the header, change that to budget like so, and hit return. I then want to rename this to be portfolio data, and hit return. And then all I've got to do now is close this and load it to a connection only, and load it to my data model like I did in previous examples. So close and load to. I'm going to choose create connection only and add this to the data model like so, and click OK. And there you go, that has now been added. If I close down my queries and connections, if I then go into Power Pivot, manage, you can now see I've got my portfolio data in here. And again, I'll just expand these columns so I can see all of it. So on the budget column, I'm going to get rid of the decimal point, so it recognizes it as a currency, but I want no decimal places here. So I'm going to right click to the right and then click to the right to get rid of them. And on the date column, I'm going to change this from a date and time to just a date, like so. And it's now done. So I'm going to hit save. I'm then going to go to my diagram view. If I drag my actuals data down, my portfolio table, my cross-reference and my calendar, if I then drag projects here to project in portfolio data and create that relationship, so there's a one-to-many relationship. Do the same with the actuals data. Again, a one-to-many relationship. Now let's join them up through the date as well. So the calendar, drag from there, select date, and again, even though the month end is a different name to date, they are both date fields, same format, so I can create that connection. And again, I've got a one-to-many. So again, if I hit save, I've now created my relationships, and I can close that down. And again, I can hit save here and autosave comes back on. So now I've created that information, it all automatically refreshes when I do a data refresh, and any changes in SharePoint will be picked up. So I'm now free to create my dashboard. Now, through my mystical powers, otherwise known as the magic of video editing, let me quickly get this dashboard done for you. But if you want to know how to do it, then check out the links to the videos on Power Query and Data Visualization and Power Pivot in the description, and I'll show you a step-by-step guide. And there you go, all done. I now have my dynamic data here, as we did before. So let's do a little experiment. I've got April selected here. Let's select program A, and we can see there's a total here under budget of 340,000 there for program A. So what if I go into SharePoint now, and let's take April. So let's go into here and let's change April to 30,000. And exit that. We go back to Excel. So we've got 340,000. So I've just reduced that by 10,000, that overall budget. If I hit refresh all, there you go. You can see the budget has reduced by 10,000. It's all connected. It's that easy. So I hope you found this video useful and informative. If so, as always, please click the like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button for future content. I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I hope this has given you some ideas about how you can manage SharePoint data with Excel data and bring it all together in a fantastic dashboard. Let your imaginations run free. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye now.